but this is a sequel to a different Halloween. Robert Zombie's Halloween 2.
Excuse me, Tony. It's Rob fucking Zombies fucking Halloween fucking 2.
God damn it.
God damn.
And so
You can't say because this video will get demonetized,
Well,
but it's
yeah.
4 letters and it starts with a C and ends with a T.
I swear to God, 90% of this script. No, without bullshitting you, 75% of the script is the word.
Okay, real fucking quick, Sean, you mother. When the fuck did you see Rob Zombie's fucking Halloween? And afterwards, did you end up seeing Rob Zombie's fucking Halloween 2 in a piece of shit theater?
I saw Halloween 2007?
Did we go together?
We went together, yes.
We did, okay.
So hated it when I first saw it.
So did I. That was one of the angriest experience. I was so fucking angry in that film.
Real bad.
I will say this, I still don't like it, but I don't hate it as much as I did when it came out because I've since then seen 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth, but we'll get into it, but there's reasons why I don't like this movie, and I'm sure you probably will agree with me, but...
Yes.
Yeah. We saw it the same night.
And then when did you see fucking Rob
2 I
Zombie's?
just saw today.
You just saw it? You just fucking saw it
Watched
today?
it today for the first time.
All right, he fucking saw it today.
I just saw Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's fucking Halloween 2 last night.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, motherfucker. I fucking skipped it in 2009. I was like, no, you're not tricking me again.
No, you.
You, Rob Zombie. That's what I said. And then I eventually saw it on video. I rented it. And of course, it's the fucking director's cut. Both movies, their home video release is the fucking director's cut.
So you got that an extra 30 minutes? Or
I got way more fucking that
Who
version.
the fuck could fucking care?
So I've only seen the fucking director's cut until the other fucking night when I watched the streaming version. So Halloween is on Netflix. That's the theatrical cut. Fucking Halloween 2 is on Peacock and stuff. And that is also... So I watched the theatrical cut for the first fucking time. And it does some things better than the fucking director's cut. But not much. So I
wanted to see Rob Zombie's shitty fucking version of this movie. Like, that's his fucking scumbag.
So I hate both of these movies with a fiery passion.
Yeah,
all 4, like, both versions of each movie I fuck. Halloween 2,
This movie's really rough, man.
It's barely a fucking movie.
It's slow as hell.
It's not even slow. You know why it feels slow?
Nothing happens in the first hour.
Nothing happens. It's just Scout Taylor Compton complaining and cursing and being a piece of shit.
There's an interesting idea that I think is explored better in other movies about, like, what happens to the final girl afterwards. How does she recover?
Sure, and the post-traumatic distress of that.
Rob Zombie's not the guy to pull off that script, but it's a good idea.
Before we keep going with the shittiness of it, let's talk about that, okay? So there's a great idea of the PTSD suffered from the victim. There's a really, how the lady in white is the portent of death. And that, like, goes back in, like, lore and all that stuff, like folklore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is great. And, or it's a good idea, rather. But the way that it's done here is just, like...
dog shit.
Up with, like, white trash.
Yeah.
MTV music video garbage. And it's so diluted with that, everything gets lost.
Yeah.
And it's just a mean-spirited piece of shit.
Well, it's Rob Zombie.
I know, but
still,
like...
I'm with you.
The Rob Zombie's first Halloween, when I turned it on a few weeks ago, the beginning of that movie gets me so nauseous because of just how, like, the constant screaming and the yelling.
Oh, and you have, like, William Forsythe just being the biggest piece of shit on the planet.
And that fucking little kid, Michael Myers, who actually, they did shoot some scenes with him for Halloween 2, and then they realized he got too big, so they totally...
I still think that was kind of stupid. They could have filmed around that, and I feel like it would have worked way better, but anyway.
Put him on his knees.
That's
but
what I said.
To give Rob Zombie some leeway, not much. He did want to do... His original idea was, like, I want to do 2 movies. I want to do young Michael Myers and all that stuff, and then like when he's older and doing the Halloween killing, the whatever. And they said no.
The babysitter murders or whatever.
Yeah, they said no, and that's why the first movie is so, like, it's a prequel, and then it's just a not as good remake. Then he was allowed by Malik Akkad to ignore his father's rules. Well, so that's why at the end of the first Halloween, Rob Zombie just has Laurie shoot Michael point blank in the face.
But they don't show it.
They don't show it. Oh, I bet you they did. And the producers are like,
Zoom in.
We're going to give you a little bit of leeway. Do not show his face actually exploding. But in this movie, they told him, they're like, hey, we're going to make a sequel to your movie, whether you want to or not. So he's like, well, I don't want anyone. I'll do it. So he like reluctantly, much like John Carpenter, reluctantly came back.
With worse results.
Yeah.
With worse results.
But you know what's crazy about that before we talk more about this film? I was reading that like when he did the first one, he hated making it so much because Weinstein was like up his ass the entire time.
Yeah.
Not literally. I know you would think that would actually be literally what happened, but
I mean, maybe he was.
Well, he said when he was making this one,
it was like a worse experience than the first one.
The Weinsteins were yelling at him and they would show him scenes from his previous movie and be like, do it more like this.
He's like, yeah, I made the movie. I know.
Yeah. I will say it's weird. They don't even. So by the way, the first like 30 minutes of this movie is kind of a dream.
Okay, can I stop you?
It's like a mixture between a dream and what really happened.
I'm watching this for the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, okay, like this first like 20 minutes is actually pretty fucking intense. Like I was just expecting a total shit show.
Yeah.
Then revealed it's a dream, and I'm like, I literally had to get up and be like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
That was like the most interesting. That was like the most interesting thing he's done in this franchise up to this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually think some of the stuff at the Myers house at the end of one is actually pretty interesting. The rest of the movies maybe up for debate, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, this was a cool way to do the spin on the hospital thing. You have like Richard Reel shows up and gets taken out. I thought that was a really intense scene, and then it's like, oh, it's a dream.
Yeah.
All tension from the rest of the movie.
There was
Richard Reels.
when you were watching the director's cut, were you aware that it was a dream? Like, did you catch on?
No.
Apparently the director's cut, the channel Dead Meat, they did really good breakdowns of the director's cut and theatrical cut. Apparently director's cut, like, there's like just like a room full of dead people.
Well, what happens is Laurie's like scaling this fence and she falls into a vat of bodies.
Yes.
Oh my
and
God.
I'm like, are you telling me this f***ing guy went around, took out the whole hospital, dumped them in this place, and then went after her?
Yeah.
After he kills poor Octavia Spencer?
That's not in the theatrical cut, and I'm pretty sure it's not in there because people would have been like, all right, well, this is clearly a dream.
Well, I also went, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was a dream because of how f***ing bad I think the movie is. You know what I mean? Like,
But I
was
love
like,
that
fucking
just
Rob
put, like,
Zombie.
they put like some blood on Michael's face and the mat. Why would it? What they could have done?
I think they're trying to make you think she shot him in the chest or something.
No.
Well, no, because the mask is all ripped.
Well,
and bloody.
no. She rips it off him.
Oh, right.
Or it gets
Actually-
ripped off in
well,
some
no,
kind of
it's like- it's
scenario.
like
Actually,
damage.
I think it's Danielle Harris who rips it off. No,
No,
not
no, no,
Danielle
no.
Harris.
In the flashback, the hospital thing, it's like damaged, and then when we see it again, then it's like missing part of it.
Somebody
Right.
grabs it and rips it. I think it's at the strip joint.
I think so. Someone
either way,
it gets damaged, but it's just like it doesn't look like he was shot in the head at all. Oh, but what they could have done is just like put like blood on his shoulder, like she missed or something like that.
Where's the hole?
Well, what are you gonna do?
I mean, it's not like Halloween 2, the original, where it's like, oh, he took all this damage. Well, okay, well, we have the one nurse, he knows how to do a blood transfusion, that's why he's okay.
Do you think, let me ask you a question. How does he come back in this one? You think Richard Brake him back to life?
Okay, so can we
Well,
talk about that just real quick?
Oh my god!
'Cause I guess this actually happens because it leads right into the stream sequence.
Yeah.
We have Richard.
It's a mixture of like what really happened and then like
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Because we have Richard Brake, and I forget the actor, but Unzer from Sons of Anarchy are these cops that are, or coroners that are taking the body off. And Richard Brake's talking about he wants to fuck Linda.
Yeah.
Oh man, she was so hot. Or there. And he's like, those two boys across the county, a corpse or whatever.
And then Unzer goes, hey, you know the difference between jelly and jam? He goes, well, what's he say? He's like, you can't jelly a dead corpse or something like that.
No, you can't jelly your dick up a dead corpse's ass or something like.
Oh my God.
This movie's riddled with shit like that. Hey, you tell the difference between a bad movie and a good movie?
Hey, oh, by the way,
I'll tell you what, it's this one.
Joe.
What?
Cow.
Cow!
What? Face is just in the steering wheel. That was cool.
So what
That
I
was
think,
kinda cool.
what I think
Just
happened
senseless
was
violence for no reason.
what I
like
think
that.
happened was Michael was dead, and the spirit of the cow went into Michael.
Okay, well, they say he's dead. They're like, oh, we had to get 6 people to load him into the ambulance.
Oh, you know what it was? The cow counted as a sacrifice to the pagan god
Yes.
that allowed Michael to come
Sam
back.
Hain or the Cult of Thorn, we're not sure.
No, it was just the spirit of the woods. Yeah, maybe it was Krampus. We don't fucking know.
So Michael, I love like
The
Michael
witch.
gets out and Richard Brake's like, please help me. And Michael's like, no, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, what did he
instead.
think?
Yeah.
He gets a brutal. He gets like a
Help
saw
me.
on the neck.
Yeah, his head gets
Head
ripped off.
with a piece of glass.
Oh right, yeah.
So Michael goes to the hospital. He kills poor Octavia Spencer.
Well, since we're there. This is the first we get of Sherry Moon Zombie, who should never fucking act in anything. I'm sorry.
I can't wait to
She's
do
a
the
very
monsters.
nice lady. I'm sure she's a very
There's
nice
a monster's
lady.
joke in this, by the way.
There is. But the guy is going to be Grandpa in the monster.
Yeah.
That guy's gonna be Grandpa, and the other fucking dude who gets his head stomped is Herman.
Oh, I didn't
He's
even
two characters in this
Wow.
movie, by the way.
So is he really?
He's another guy at like the party at the end.
Oh, is he the fucking
Yeah, I think he
rockabilly
is.
guy?
Okay.
Yeah.
Poor Billy Bullshit. Anyway, what the hell were we just talking about? Oh, this is the first time you see Sherry Moon.
Yeah.
With the horse. And this white horse thing right in the beginning. Is that
Yeah.
part of the director's
Well,
cut?
okay,
Yeah,
so
no, it's in the theatrical cut
Oh,
too.
it
The
is?
white
They
horse.
show like in the very beginning, it's like they do like the not a sepia tone, but like a grayscale tone over it, where she's visiting Michael at the hospital, and she brings him like
Oh
the
my
fucking
God, that's right.
pony, which is I think a reference to the first one because over the credits of the first one they show young Michael destroying like a giant like plastic pony.
Yeah.
That's my thought. I don't know.
Hey.
You know what the real
Hold on, I need to interrupt you for a second. Nights in white satin. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, you know what I think the white horse represents? Rob,
Never reaching the end.
here's what I think it represents. Rob Zombie.
Letters I've written.
Punch you.
That's how I felt watching the movie.
Rob Zombie must have watched season 2 of Twin Peaks with the white horse.
Where's the goddamn lodge?
Yeah, that's what it is. Michael's mom was in the Black Lodge.
God, I wish better
Yeah.
movie with Pumpkinhead people.
Yeah. So one of the big changes, theatrical cut, it flashes 1 year later. Director's cut, it's 2 years later.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is 2 years
Okay.
later.
Yeah.
Because I watched theatrical. I don't know if I
yes.
said that already.
And then
What was he doing for 2 years?
I mean,
He was,
a year
he was on that dude's land.
He was
Being
on
the what?
Mark Boone Jr.'s
Mark Boone
property.
Jr.'s land, who
Yeah,
plays
yeah.
the same fucking character in every movie.
I know.
Also in Sons of Anarchy, they had the whole
Yes.
crew there.
Oh, is that Flask from Batman Begins?
Yes.
Yes,
it
also,
is.
what's his face from 30 Days of Night?
Right.
Also
right.
in John Carpenter's Vampires for like a second.
And he looks, he's the same character, I'm convinced.
He does.
He's
look
a great
lot.
actor, though.
He's a Memento also.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
he
yes.
fucking rips off what's his face? I made you pay twice. I knew you wouldn't remember.
So Michael has just been living in the woods, eating
In a
raw
shack.
meat.
He's got his little roll up sleeping bag.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is straight up a hobo.
He doesn't wear his mask
Yeah.
for a lot of this, and he just looks like a beefed up Rob Zombie walking around a fucking cornfield.
The mask thing, by the way, is super inconsistent in these two movies.
Well, the whole thing with the mask is that he puts on different ones to become different people. Am I right or wrong?
that's what they think they're trying to say, but there are so many kills in this movie and the one before it where he doesn't have any mask on, like when he stomps
Yeah.
the guy's head
Well, the
in, when he's
director's-
a kid and he
Agreed.
kills
I think the
Tony.
director's cut of the first one, Loomis is like he's taken to wearing masks, and he's just like.
But they're different personifications. Of
That's what I thought
different
before going
emotions,
into it,
and
yeah.
that was like
Yes.
an interesting thing from the first one. But we've completely abandoned that
No,
in this movie.
now it's his ghost mom.
Question
And-
mark.
and
and he's
baby-
seeing himself younger and shit.
Yeah.
And now Sherry Moon's like, you got to go back and you got to give Angel baby, and we're all gonna be a family together.
And it's like he should be like, "Well, Mom, I tried that, and she tried to kill me. I don't think we're gonna be together."
Again, cool idea. Lady in White, Portent of Death.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What
know
you're
what's-
doing with it is f***ing stupid.
You know what's real cringe? It's not in the theatrical cut, I think, but the director's cut. When she goes to Margot Kidder.
No, that's
Oh,
in there.
yeah,
It's in
yeah.
there. Her
Yeah.
psychiatrist.
No, that is in there.
Oh.
But I think in the director's cut, she looks at the Rorschach painting.
Okay.
And she's
Yes.
like, I see a white horse, but it's so obviously
Obviously
two white horses.
Oh
like
my
it's not
God.
even. It's like, yes, of course you see a white horse. That's what it is.
You got white horses on the brain. Mr.
Now,
Green?
another scene with the therapist.
Yeah.
In your version,
Yes.
you probably saw her go back and like she's like screaming and ranting, and it cuts to the guy dressed as Frankenstein. It cuts to her holding a pig and whatnot.
She walks in ranting like,
Yeah.
and then I went to a farm and I saw a pig and I was holding a pig and then I saw Frankenstein and he
in-
was saying bad shit to people.
In the theatrical cut, it's just a scene of her at that
Petting the
thing,
pig.
like petting the pig, like, oh, I'm gonna take you home. And then so he just took that footage and threw it in there.
Dude.
So that is the biggest change. So director's cut Lori,
She is insufferable
Yes.
in this movie.
and
In
she's
the director's
super
cut.
mean to Daniel Harris. This is Annie.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, she is, but also like at least in the theatrical, I kind of like was a little on her side because of the whole Loomis situation.
The theatrical cut, they made her way more likable.
And they made Loomis way unlikable in this movie.
Like an example, when she says like one day at a time.
Yeah.
To Lori in the theatrical cut, she's like, yeah, and then it cuts to her leaving. And the director's cut, she's like, I hate hearing that. She like fights with Annie.
Yeah.
She screams at her.
I mean, she does scream at her when she finds out that she's fucking.
But she's
Angel
like
Myers,
even way meaner. Like she is
Yeah.
like way meaner. Like they had to add in scenes in the theatrical cut to make her like more likable. Like she's like talking to a teddy bear at one point.
Buddy.
Don't worry, that cocksucker Michael Myers is dead.
Which I think was like a reference to her dream where she sees Richard Reel getting killed, who was called Buddy.
Yeah.
She's going through psychosis, but the way that it's presented is very like, not only is it hand-fisted, but it's just bad.
Yes.
Like, it's just bad. Like, we cut to her, she's like eating Halloween candy, having nightmares.
By the way,
that's like a Voldemort thing.
Yeah.
By the way, she is psychically linked with Michael now.
Or we actually covered this on your old Godzilla show, Hedorah. Remember, there's a little kid has the connection with Godzilla.
Yes, clearly Michael has whatever Hedorah has.
Yeah, because it's like...
Or no, the kid was psychically linked with Godzilla.
Right.
Yeah, and also, like, what's her face and Godzilla vs. Biollante.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, like, she's eating the pizza, and she's, like, vegan, and then Michael's eating a fucking dog he killed, and it's like, is she getting sick because it's like she tastes the dog? Like, I was super confused
Again,
about that.
there was some contention in
It's like some Watcher shit.
in the Michael Myers injury video I put out. People were mad that I included Michael eating raw dog.
The dog heart.
They said that
Give you worms.
they said it was a joke injury, him eating raw meat, and I responded, salmonella is no joke.
It is
Do
no joke.
not eat raw meat. And Michael eats so much raw meat in this franchise.
He's got like pylori or something, dude.
Well, that was my theory. You know what? Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Halloween 1, he's getting a little slow at the end. Halloween 2, he's a robot. He probably has to like really bad.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Well, you
just
think
like-
that's what he was doing for those 2 years?
Cleaning out his colon.
Cleaning out his colon.
Cleaning out his
He was
colon.
He was eating vegan in the fucking middle of the cornfield.
But yeah, so now there's a psychic link between them, and then she's having dream sequences of like Halloween demons, which would look cooler in any other
But
thing.
she's also dreaming about Sherry Moon Zombie and Little Michael, and it's like, what? How?
Well, she's the daughter.
It's just
and
stupid.
it's implied psychosis, shared psychosis throughout the family. However, I can't stand the fact that now that she's been through this trauma, now she's like everything looks like a weird like punk club bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right,
everything's
her
got shit
bathroom.
drawn
Yeah,
on.
what was that?
And there's like a Charles Manson poster, and she's got those shitty like
Yeah,
Sherry
I
Moon
don't
zombie
think she would have a
was bad.
Charles Manson poster.
I'm like, how am I supposed to believe that? And she's watching cartoons from the fucking 20s.
Yeah.
There's a poster, one of those eye tests that's like fucked. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
and then it's like on there's a line literally down like the mirror for the bathroom, I guess for her
Yeah.
and Daniel Harris, where it's like, keep your side clean, bitch, and stuff. It's like, I guess they're teenagers, or I guess are they
Well,
teenagers? in this
Daniel
one? Are they
Harris was
early
definitely
20s?
There was
was
no,
like
they're
35
supposed to
at the
be
time.
like late high school.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Daniel
saying-
Harris was a little too old for high school.
I feel
at
like
that
this
point.
in the first one they were definitely high school, but I think this one because they never go to school in this, and they're at like a
one's
titty bar later.
Well, depending on what version you watch, it's either a year or 2 years after high
yeah,
school.
but like-
I don't know.
God, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's just a lot of scenes of just nothing in this movie. And I can't stand it.
Michael is like the Hulk now. He's super powerful and can lift everything.
Again, that's
How did he get so strong in the first movie? How much protein are they giving Michael Myers
they were getting
to
those
acquire
shakes, dude.
all that much? Because they literally say he does nothing. He sits in his cell making art all day long. I'm like, is he sneaking out at night to do like push-ups and pull-ups?
They tested that fucking Captain America stuff on him.
They probably did. Now,
especially if they show him as a kid in the first one, he won't eat his food.
yeah.
Another thing I fucking cannot stand about this is that he talks.
At the not in the theatrical cut.
In the beginning, he's like, "Hey, Mom, thanks for coming to visit me. How's it going?"
Oh, well, little
she
boy-
tickles him and shit. And he's
Little
like, "That's
boy
great."
Michael did talk in the previous film.
Still
Right.
stupid.
Still, yeah.
And then when he's an adult, he does talk a little bit, but he also like when he kills people, he's
grunts a
like,
lot.
He grunted a little bit in the original, but no, the director's cut.
It's more like
very different ending. But before
Really?
we get to the ending, so we've established Michael is stupid. He's just like a giant monster man who's
Sure.
talking to
Yeah,
his ghost mom.
sure.
Laurie is insufferable or not, depending on what version you watch. But she's
I mean,
still
she
not-
does still do some annoying shit, but I can understand where she's coming from.
And look.
Watch the director's cut.
Look. I promise I will watch some other movies with Scout Taylor Compton
Why?
It's just
Aaron
everything.
Taylor Johnson.
I've seen her in these two, and she was in the what was that Fatal Attraction ripoff with Idris Elba
I don't know.
and Ollie Lauder. She was the
yeah.
babysitter in that, and I was like, oh my god, this woman is killing me.
Give her
But
something
she
to do,
seems
maybe.
nice, and I'm sure I'll watch some of her other movies.
I have nothing against her. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to say her.
No,
but
that's
her
fine.
in this movie and the direction of her character.
No, I've been like, god damn, I hate
man.
this movie.
Oh god,
I think
she's
honestly,
horrible.
like the acting is pretty good in this movie. It's just the plot sucks and the
Yeah,
characters suck.
and what's his face? Chucky.
Brad Dorff is
Brad Dourif's-
fantastic in
he's-
this one.
he's pretty good in
He's in
it.
the first one too, and he's pretty good. But this one, I think he's way better. He has
Yes.
a lot more to do.
Yeah, he's okay in it. Dr. Loomis survived the previous film, even
Okay.
though his head was crushed in.
He does okay. So like I said, I watched the first one again for the first time since I saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
So he does one of these, push the eyes in. But then they show like in the next scene him dragging Loomis, no blood coming out of his eyes. He just has like a bump on his temple.
Yeah,
You
they,
can't kill him for the sequel.
yeah, they
I
like
just don't know
changed their
why
mind.
show that then at all.
Yeah.
I don't know because it's stupid.
But now he's like apparently not like the Loomis you remember. Now he's like a
He is.
smarmy
I actually,
asshole.
it's one of the things I actually really like.
Okay.
Is
Dude, it
Loomis?
feels like two different movies.
Loomis
Yeah.
is just a straight up. It's like if I was Loomis.
Yeah.
Loomis is just a straight up asshole, money
Doing it for the
hungry,
bucks.
fame
mean-
chaser. Because you know me. If like a murderer tried to kill me
You'd write
and
a
I
book
survived,
about it.
I would monetize it any way possible.
It's just like it doesn't line up for me, and I do like kind of agree with you to a point because
Yeah.
it's something different at least. But like Loomis is my favorite character in the franchise,
Yeah.
hence me wearing this T-shirt.
Sure. No.
But it's just like, how do you have the first? Okay, he writes a book in both movies. The first one, he's very serious about it. He's like basically very similar to the Donald Pleasance version. This one, it's like he writes the second book about what happens in the first movie. But again, he's wearing a different. He's the new Dr. Loomis. He's got a black trench coat.
That's the old Loomis.
Yeah.
This is new.
They used the wrong picture.
And again, the director's cut makes him more of a dick.
He gets into like an argument with Weird Al and Chris Hardwick
That
on
is
live
like
TV.
I was like, apparently I read this fact. Weird Al's one condition being in the movie is that he could wear whatever he wanted.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, okay.
And I bet they were like, well, you're playing yourself, so yeah, that's fine.
And Loomis is so pissed that he gets made fun of in this interview, by the way. He's
Yeah.
like, it's over.
It's been over, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only time I think so far someone's referenced Austin Powers in a Halloween film.
That was a little. I love meta shit, but that was like,
That was
all
a
right,
little cringe.
guys,
That
that's
was a
too
little
much.
cringe.
Malcolm McDowell is not a bad actor,
No.
and his track record.
He's been in some
He's
bad
been in
stuff.
some bad films, but like, he is terrible in this film. He's terrible.
I don't know. In a movie where like I just hate everyone.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like I needed just something charismatic, and that was it. I'm like, all right, I'm latching onto this Loomis.
I love when Brad Dourif's at the dinner table. And he's like, "Who is Marvin? Starving like Marvin? Who is
I
Marvin?"
like that. That's the thing Zombie's good at. He's like Tarantino in that sense. Not comparing the two. I'm not
go that far.
I'm not comparing the two.
Yeah.
I'm just saying some of the conversational stuff that doesn't have anything to do with the plot. Like Tarantino.
Well, you know what? I
is
will
very
give him
good.
credit.
I'm not
Laurie's,
saying he's like Tarantino could do a 5-minute stretch.
I will give him credit. Laurie's parents in the director's cut of the previous film,
Yeah.
they actually were like what's her face? It was
D. Wallace.
D. Wallace.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I forget the father.
I
haven't
actually
seen the first
felt
one in a
like
while.
caring parents
Yeah.
and whatnot. So he can do some decent writing and whatnot. But yeah, Loomis is such an asshole, and I love it.
And his like secretary, who's the woman from Bones. I don't know
Yeah.
her name, but
Yeah.
she's like calling him out, like this is like really stepping over the line.
Yeah.
Like this book goes too far, and like he's in denial the whole movie, which I guess is what they're trying to get across because he's
Well,
like,
he-
Michael's dead. Stop asking me about
Linda's
him.
dad. Well, we find out his gun wasn't loaded,
Right, puts a
but
gun on
Linda's dad tries to kill him at one point.
He's like, "You see that?" But like all the emotional tension of that scene
Yeah.
is just flat.
Yeah.
Well, because Loomis thinks it's a big joke the whole time.
No, I'm saying the way that it plays out and it reads to an audience
Well,
member.
especially we get that guy Chet right before him, who's like a super fan, who's like making fun of people that love like like
Oh yeah, the bringer of death, and he's like
yeah.
the
yeah,
bringer.
yeah,
of
like making
death.
fun of people that love like serial killer like
Yeah.
podcasts and
Sure,
stuff.
Sure.
The strip club scene. Why is Michael there?
I don't
Why
know.
did he go there?
Oh, by
because
the way,
I guess he sees the picture of his mom, and it's like
why
Michael
is Sherry
Myers.
Moon Zombie on the side of a fucking billboard?
That was the strip club she worked at in
Right,
the
in the
first
first
film.
one,
Why
yeah.
is
So
it still
they
there?
Well, again, if I ran the strip club, I'd be like, wait, that mass murderer's mom?
Come on in.
We gotta put it like, hey, that guy's mom used to dance here years ago.
That's 100% what it is.
That is literally what it is. So I guess he's mad. Well, I guess what triggers him is Dr. Loomis, right? He sees the billboard or something.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember.
Michael Myers' motivation in this film is to kill the people who are making a buck off.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Motivation.
That's actually a good motivation for Michael Myers.
He doesn't see a billboard. It's Sherry Moon Zombie ghost talking to him. It's almost time, Michael. It's almost time to go home. And then he starts his long fucking Lord of the Rings walk to Haddonfield across the fields of America.
Yeah.
He does see the billboard, though.
He does see it at some point, but I guess that's not what triggers him. But yeah.
And Sherry Moon's like, Zombie's like, look, he's making a book about you.
Yeah.
You gotta kill him.
So yeah, Rob Zombie shot this one in like 16 millimeter. It's very grainy for like a modern movie.
He shot this on 16 millimeter?
I think so. From what I read.
I mean,
I wasn't sure if it was like an effect put over it or not.
No,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very. I remember back in the day being like, this is real grainy for a modern movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm surprised they let him shoot on 16.
I think they played ball with him here and there.
Yeah, or at least some scenes.
Yeah. So yeah, the ending.
Okay.
The end. Very different endings.
Well, can we at least mention that Daniel Harris survives the first one and then is killed off screen in this one?
Yes.
And it is implied Michael rapes her?
Yeah. Go have some fun, Mikey. And I'm like, are you telling him to go Daniel Harris and then stab her
it's
to
the
death?
second time in this franchise that's happened to this character.
Jesus Christ.
Or this, well, technically
now,
not, but.
Sean, you know what would have made that scene even sadder when Brackett comes? What if they cut to footage of young Daniel Harris?
Real footage
of young Daniel Harris while Brackett is crying over her body. Would that have enhanced?
Is that in the director's cut?
You want to talk about fucking piss poor taste?
I remember seeing that going, what?
Could you imagine that? Like,
yeah.
Talk about stuff in piss poor taste also. There's like 5 or 6 post shot, like slow motion shots that look horrible. I don't know if I'm wording that right.
We mentioned Lord of the Rings. I hate choppy slow-mo, and there's so much choppy slow-mo.
It's the Peter Jackson slow-mo. And
It wasn't shot in slow-mo. I don't know if there's a better term for that.
No, it wasn't shot in a high frame rate.
It looks horrible.
It was like shot at 24 and then slowed down.
The first time it happened, I'm like, what? And then it happens like 4 or 5 more times. I'm like, oh my God.
It's like shit.
Yeah, so Daniel Harris is dead. Lori and her friends are dressed as Rocky Horror Picture Show. They're getting picked off one by one.
Wait a second.
She's magenta, right?
He's like
She's
Jason.
magenta.
He's like Jason at this point. He's teleporting from location to location.
Well, yeah, but I want to talk about, just real quick, that scene right before that Halloween party, that last fucking 20 years.
Yeah.
Right.
She goes there, she finds out, she gets Loomis's book, she's like, I got it, it's true. Angel Myers.
That's what really bothered me. Is like, I remember when I watched it, I couldn't understand what she was saying.
No.
I not me. I not me. Do you understand what the I'm saying?
He's like, tell me. Daniel Harris is like, what?
Yeah.
Even she doesn't, her friend doesn't.
They have a podcast together
What
now.
did you say?
Daniel Harris and Scott Taylor. They have a.
That's kind of cool.
She goes to her friends' houses. That she went to the fucking Meat Bob's. Bob.
Oh, yeah, Uncle Meat.
Whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, well, because they all work for that guy.
Yeah.
The guy who's very libertarian. He hates the military-industrial complex, and I was just like, this is my favorite character in all of Halloween. I know you like Loomis.
Also,
I like libertarian hippie guy.
Okay.
Also a political satire, by the way.
Yeah.
She goes to their house and she's like, oh my God, I'm Michael Myers' sister. Let's go
And
party.
they don't believe her at first.
No. And then she's like, let's go party. And then there's a fucking 20-minute scene of them going to this party.
Yeah.
Well,
there's some stuff.
There's some stuff with Michael cut in between because we got to keep going back to hit Michael's POV that I never wanted ever in this series. I don't need to know what he's thinking.
There would be no body count if he wasn't walking through these fucking
Well,
fields.
again, he teleports from the party after he kills the friend in her whatever, her pickup. And then he teleports to Brackett's house, which is like way away from the fucking party as far as I know. And steps out from like a tree where this guy should have been able to see him.
He had a flashlight on him.
Okay, whatever.
Friggin', I think in the director's cut, Daniel Harris is way meaner to that cop. She's like, what the fuck are you gonna do?
God.
She doesn't do that in that other version.
I don't really understand that, but okay.
I don't know.
The cops in this franchise are really incompetent.
So we get to the ending.
Well, I'm talking about her animosity towards
I'm just adding to that, that's all.
So we get to the ending.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Now, if I'm remembering right, because I did watch that guy's video, and I hope let me know if I'm mixing them up.
I'll tell you.
So the version we watched, Laurie is being held captive by invisible young Michael Myers.
Right, it's all in her head.
I do like Loomis comes in. It's like, what are you talking about?
Loomis finally
in your head.
He has his, for lack of a better term, come to Jesus moment because he's like, I guess like internally he realizes I f***ed up by like doing all this, and then he hears the news report and fucking rushes over there. But Brackett's like, get the fuck out of here.
It's so fucking phoned in, and I hate it so much.
So he goes in. He's trying to he's dealing with Michael. The ghost mom's like, kill her, blah, blah, blah.
Well, no, she's saying, say I love you, mommy. I love you, mommy.
Yeah. So he then attacks Loomis.
Yeah. He fucks Loomis up.
He cuts his brain is like coming out. He slices his head, his brain is showing. Brackett,
that's in the
this is the theatrical.
Okay,
Brackett shoots him with the sniper rifle, and then he falls back into some farm equipment and gets impaled.
Right.
Then
I couldn't believe that.
Then Lori goes up to him. She's like, brother, blah, blah.
I love you.
And then I guess he like tries to kill her, but then he dies, and then she picks it up, stabs him.
Finally, somebody did something smart.
And then she comes out wearing the Michael Myers outfit and then falls to her knees, and then it fades into the insane asylum. Now, could you explain to Sean how your version ended?
It sounds like it's more visually satisfying, your version.
No.
This one.
Okay, yeah, satisfying.
So Loomis shows up. He goes and he does the whole thing where he's like, it's all in your head, Laurie. Blah blah blah. What are you talking about? Michael Myers picks up Loomis and throws him through the side of the fucking
through the cabin.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And he comes out and goes, die, and he stabs him once. He's dead.
He says die.
He screams die.
Says die. And then,
by the way, not wearing the mask
not
anymore.
Not wearing the mask. Yeah.
Well, he takes it off at some point when he's carrying her body out with the ghosts.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And then Brackett and everybody shoot the living shit out of him. And
kind of like Halloween 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is fine. And then Laurie comes shambling out. She picks up the knife and then goes to kill Loomis because he's not all the way dead. And then some guy off on the side just shoots the shit out of her and she dies. Or no. And then she ends up in the mental hospital.
Well, no. I think it's implied in that version she did die, and then that's like a post, like a.
Oh,
like
is it?
Because Rob Zombie did the same thing John Carpenter did. He's like, I don't want to do another one. They're all fucking dead.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yes, and I guess the studio was like, no, they're fucking not. So you better reshoot that ending, and she's gonna be in that. Now the ending is like she went to the asylum, whereas in the director's cut, that's like maybe like her last like dream as she's dying.
It could be interpreted that way for sure, because it's like this big white room. This
Oh
white
yeah, they have that in the
hallway.
theatrical.
And
By the way, that's what confused
that stupid fucking smile, like
because I remember I think in one of the trailers they show Michael getting shot by all these cops, and then when I watched it, not realizing it was the director's cut, I'm like, what?
Oh.
Where is that scene? Yeah, it's not good.
No,
It's not good.
It has moments I actually do like, but overall,
I will give it credit, like, compared to some of the other, like, lamer sequels, there were ideas that, if executed well, would have been good, other than Michael's back. But it is both of his movies, and this one, although the theatrical version is a little easier to tolerate.
Okay.
They're a slog to get through.
They're, again, like you said, there's a lot of ideas in this that would have suited a better director.
Yeah.
He feels like Rob doesn't know what he wants to do exactly. Like he thinks he's getting through to you, but it's so lost in the disgustingness of this film. Like it feels like, the Devil's Rejects.
Right, which works in that movie, but here it's just like it's overkill.
It's like the worst version, like the most disgusting version of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre mixed with Halloween, and it just does not fucking jive.
In the director's cut, when she dies, do they play Love Hurts? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, in the director's cut, they replay Love Hurts from the previous film, but it's like a slowed down cover.
You know what's funny about that? I forgot to mention that, but I wish I could remember the damn name of the song. The song that is at the end of it's at the beginning and the end of Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2.
Oh, Mr. Sandman.
Yes, they play that at the end of Rob Zombie's Halloween 1, but it's like a slower like cover, and I'm like, are you f***ing kidding me?
Yeah. The thing with the hospital is pretty funny because it is like a fake out if you went into it expecting it to be a remake of Halloween 2. Well, I forgot to mention before we move on to the next film, the first Halloween 2. I came to a conclusion recently that I think Laurie and Loomis kill more people than Michael Myers.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention
because they cause a big explosion in the hospital that we know because the nurse gets killed, has a room full of unattended
Babies,
children
yeah.
and other patients. So it's possible that all that smoke just blows into the maternity ward.
Well, thank
goes
God.
into all the other patients.
Asphyxiating.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank God Chow Yun Fat happened to be in the area from Hard Boiled. He's getting those babies out of there with the.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
that was like room with like oxygen and stuff. So like, what if someone's like having a respiratory issue? Like, sorry, all our oxygen just.
I got news for you. Those hoses that he pulls off the walls, that's like back feeding up to wherever they go.
Oh, that's
that
right.
room is exploding.
Wow.
Okay?
They like killed everyone in that hospital.
It might be worth it to take out Michael
Again,
Myers, though.
the ending of Halloween 2 should be like, all right, well, Michael, yeah, sure, he murdered people. You guys killed the entire hospital. You're going to jail.
Theoretically, Laurie should be dead. Like, that explosion from all the oxygen and everything
Yeah.
should have, like, leveled that building.
I mean, it was so strong, it broke the fourth wall, and we saw the set. Anyway, so we're 2 Halloween 2s down.
Yeah.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.